Hello everyone, this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life, and this is one of my late night planting sessions. So I have a few packs of seeds here that I realized that I did not plant. This is not one of them, but there are a few, quite a few. I think I've already planted these, so I'll keep this as a standby. This is sugar cane, so I think I have some out there, so I think I'll put that to the side. However, I did not plant my butterfly peas, my sunflowers. I don't think I planted any zucchini or, well, green or yellow zucchini. And then I have cranberry hibiscus here. So I have a tray here with soil, and we're gonna go ahead and get these planted for what it's worth. It is, what, May 14th? I'm a little behind the power curve, but I have room on my grow station, and I'm starting seeds, but those are just backup plants. I'm gonna have a backup table, just in case something gets, damaged or needs to be replaced. That's what that's for. But these I do not have. So we're gonna get some straw so I can mark them, and let's get to it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is perfect because I have 5 rows. So this shouldn't be bad, huh? Let's get to it. Okay, let's remove all the distractions and get straight to business. So I have my pen here, my scissors, and my straw. So the first thing I want to plant is the squash. Zucchini golden squash right here. Because I know these seeds are huge, and I'm going to plant 1 per pod. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. These seeds seem like they're very viable, so fingers crossed, right? Zucchini golden. I'm just going to take my finger, and these are huge seeds. Look at that. See that? Normally I plant 2 per pod. Let's have some faith, huh? If I plant 2, there won't be enough room. So that's done. So Golden Z, that's what I'm gonna call it. Gold Z. Cut that off. I'll stick that right there. Next, I'm going to play, this one is Ford Hook Zucchini. I never opened this one. Didn't open it for real. I didn't plan it at all, ever. I don't know how I forgot to plant these. I'm gonna put 2 per pot on this one. 2, 4, 6, 8. Put that there, put that there. 2 holes, 1 seed in there, 1 seed in there. It's been an interesting couple of days. The weather it's been raining here. I think it's a blessing. As long as sometimes it gets a little scary though, because the storms, you always hear the stories of disasters, and I hate to say it, tornadoes, natural disasters, and people losing everything. You're like, oh my gosh. And then a storm comes to your area, and you're like, am I going to be one of those people? When we had a threat, I think 2 days ago, I just stood outside and I prayed I prayed for the whole area. And we had some bad weather, but nobody, as far as I know, nobody passed away. So that, you can always recover things. You can't recover people. You know, once they're gone, they're gone. So that's what I prayed for. And I prayed that, you know, we didn't have a disaster at all, but mainly that nobody got hurt. So I have my sunflowers here. And it seemed like it came here. It came here 2, 4, and it just traveled all the way to the East Coast. Once we get it, and it's so weird because once we get it here, right? And it seems like, in my mind, it seems like it starts here. I'm like, how, you know, where did this come from? But then again, I take that back because there have been times where we've seen a storm come on the West Coast in California, and within about 3 days, it's here in Texas. Some of those storms just travel. Well, most of them travel. So I'm on my 3rd row, which is here. But when we get it, then I know most of the time if we get it here in the Austin area, Louisiana, Houston is a couple of hours later, maybe sometimes less than a couple of hours, maybe 2-3 hours. Houston is about 4 hours away from here, and it's interesting how the storm can travel the same speed as a car, if not faster. Blows my mind. And if it hits, once it hits Houston, Louisiana is right next to it, then Alabama, and then it goes on and on from there. So, up to my sunflowers. This is Malmouth Russian, and I'm putting 2 per pot. You know, you think, and we as human beings think we have the power to control things. We really don't. We don't. I mean, I'm planting seeds and I'm just having faith that they'll grow. I have no control over this. The seed is, you know, viable, it'll grow. And, you know, how am I going to know which ones are viable or not? I'm just having faith. Just like when you pray or when you pray, you just have faith that your prayers are going to be answered. There's no guarantees, right? God's will. Which is extremely interesting to me because I don't know what people who don't believe in anything, how do they function? I don't know. How do they function? You don't believe in anything. Or maybe they believe in themselves. I don't know. But man, we don't have any power. We don't. Really, we don't. Next is butterfly peas. We do have power over the way we treat each other. And we have power over how we treat ourselves. But I think that's about it. Our actions are our responsibility, but it's like of the fibers of a cloth. Every thread is different. And every thread is almost the same. Jamaica analogy. I'm in the middle of the night philosophizing. I'm a philosopher now. Philosophizing, that's my word. I made that up. So we got Blue Queen butterfly pea. I don't think I got this to germinate last time. Put 1 per pot. 1 per pot. Come on, butterfly pea. I want you. I've seen other people with the butterfly peas. There's a worm in here. He freaked out when I touched him. I hope it's a worm. Go ahead, wormy worm. Don't give up. I'm not going to hurt you. Just go in there. I need you to give me space so I can put my seed in. I really don't want to be bothered with you. Like, you don't want to be bothered with me? I don't want to be bothered with you. That's 1 seed in. That's number 2. You know what? I'm going to put 2 per pot because I want some zinnias. And I'm going to go over there and get them. Butterfly peas, you can eat those though. I got some dandelion seeds in today. I want some dandelion root. I'm going to go and get that instead of getting the zinnias. So I did these 2, which are butterfly peas, and then I'm going to do dandelions and these 2. I can't believe I'm buying dandelions. Do you believe that? Let me go get it. We used to dig those up. Me and my grandma would be out in the yard getting those roots up, and we would just throw it out. We didn't know. Man, those roots were always so long. They were like carrots. And now I find out they're medicinal. What? Just a minute. So, dandelions. I hope I'm not sorry for this one. Because these jokers, I have not seen any dandelions around here. The ones that this stuff that we have here is not a dandelion. That thing is like a cactus. You look at these seeds. Fond memories. Never dreamed I'd be buying dandelion seeds. I don't know, I got about 5 in my hand. Another worm. Where did I get this soil from? Supermarket soil. Supermarket soil is like a jungle. All right, so I have a small handful of these. I think I put 4 seeds in there. Cover it back up. They'll come up. Dandelion is a weed. And you know, the story is that, you know, that famous herbicide that you know, gets rid of this weed, supposedly, is the same one that's making the medicine from it. I don't know how true it is. It sounds true though. So they're assisting us, you know, like a bunch of cattle running off the side of a cliff. They're assisting us in getting rid of this dandelion because it's medicinal, and then they go ahead and they make the medicine for it. Look up the properties for dandelions. I know that you can make dandelion. I didn't know as a kid. Me and my grandma did not know. You could use the root. You could make dandelion greens. You could eat. I think you can even eat the flowers. So look it up. Don't listen to Jamaica. But I get a little upset when I find out stuff like that. So here is cranberry hibiscus. This seed has been giving me a problem. So I'm gonna try it again. Try it again. Oh, come on, worm. Just cover yourself up. Jumping around. Okay, I don't want to see you. Will you freak me out? He's moving around, squiggling and squiggling. I'm like, you know, just get under the soil. Bringing more attention to yourself. All right, so we got the cranberry hibiscus. 1 seed came out. This thing gonna give me a problem. All right, I'll hold on to that one. Let me put that one in there. That's 1. You know, I'm only gonna do 4, and then I'm gonna do 2 honeydew. I like melons, and I don't want to pay for them anymore. They cost too much. You want $5 for a melon now. A cantaloupe or honeydew. I think honeydew is more than cantaloupe. Cantaloupe might be 4, and honeydew is $5 to $6. The times we living in, I tell you what. Whew, save your seeds. Save your seeds. And save yourself. So here's a cranberry hibiscus. I already put one seed in. I'll put one more in here with it. This soil is not. Okay. Take these logs out. Don't bury it too deep, Jamaica, because these seeds are small. Maybe that's what went wrong last time. Another worm. A million little worms in here. I hope they're worms. Okay, so I said I wanted some honeydew melon. Right here. It's a homestead heart seed right here. Okay, I got 4 seeds. You put that where it belongs so I can mark these correctly. One there. It's been a while since I started doing a late night planting. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I am a night bird sometimes. A lot of times. Then I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, do you ever, you gotta give your body rest too. And I get up and move around after that. Okay. Honeydew. I think my grandmother told me when I was, let me get this. When I was a kid that the older you get, the less sleep you require. I don't think she slept very much either. So I'm gonna put green zucchini here. Might be hereditary where I don't sleep a lot. I hope that's what it is. This pen is not working. Let me go get a pen. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm gonna put green zoo. Green zook. I think I'll know what that means. I hope. Okay. Next one is sunflowers. I did sunflowers, huh? Did a whole row of those. I'm gonna put sun on there so I can. Sunshine almost always makes me happy. Jamaica, I put S-A. Who spells sun like that? Me. S-U-N. Only me. I use a stick just to get it into the pot. Hold the straw up where I can see it. That's how I mark my stuff. Some people use what's that other thing everybody use, a fork, but I think that takes up too much room. I just smeared it. Just smeared it. Let me do it again. All right. Uh-oh. There we go. All right. Put that right there. So I did the squash. I'm up to butterfly peas, and that's only 2 of them. So I'm gonna put it here and here. So I'll know that one goes this way and one goes that way. I got a method to my madness. Hopefully I remember it. You ever do something like, why did you do that? That's me. I put butt pea. There's the butt pea. If I could read it. I think I can read it. we'll see. A couple of days or weeks. I'll be like, what does that mean? But P. If I can even read my handwriting, let me do it again. But. I'll just put but. And P. There we go. Butterfly peas. I'll put it right here. Dandelion. I'm just gonna put Dan on that one. Bought some dandelion seeds, man. Wow. You know, I heard a story. This is an evil story, by the way. So a guy was mad at his neighbor, and they were in this plush neighborhood, right? And his neighbor was like one of those HOA guys, right? Who was always bothering people about their lawn. So this guy went and bought a whole bunch, I think more than this, of dandelion seeds. And in the middle of the night, he walked by the guy's house and sprinkled seeds all over his manicured lawn. Imagine. Like the enemy in the middle of the night. Well, he was the enemy, apparently. Say, people could do the darndest things. Went and bought some dandelion seeds. You know how hard it is to get dandelions up? You gotta poison. You gotta basically poison your soil to get it out of there. What is that? Thing crawling around here? Better not eat my seed bug. Okay. Yep, he put dandelions all over man's yard. If the man, another worm. If the man knew that it was medicinal, I'm sure he would have been, well, not on this front lawn though. Nobody's gonna be happy about that. Especially when you got an HOA. Oh, come on. This little worm. You don't want to live. You just want to get on my nerves. Okay. Next one is honeydew melon. Putting honey on here. Honeydew melon. I like those honeydew melons. I don't know if they're honeydew melons, but they are, they look different. They're kind of orange-ish. Honeydew melons are usually, you know, greenish, white. These are orangish. I don't see them a lot. I see them at Wally World a lot. I haven't been to Wally World in a long time. They got everything locked up in that store. It irritates me. I'm like, what the heck? I feel like I'm in a prison. Actually, it's not just Wally World doing it. I went to the other big box stores. What was it? Which one was it? I think both of them. They got their vacuums. My vacuum broke a couple of months ago. And I was going to get a vacuum. Vacuums boxes are huge. You know, they have them locked down. I had to go and tell the lady, I said, I think it was HD. I said, I need that vacuum right there. She said, which one do you want? And then she gets it out. She says, I have to take it to the front for you. And I looked at her and I said, are things that bad? Are they taking something this big? She said, yes. So, wow. Wow. Locking up vacuum cleaners. Can't put a vacuum cleaner in your pocket. But, however, this thing is upside down. I was watching a news station from the city I was born in, New York. And the thing is, they're saying, and this is on the news, I'm not making this up, if a person pilfers something under $1,000, it's a misdemeanor. That's nothing. So people are going in there and taking stuff just under $1,000. Nothing happens to them. They get a little they get a little slap on the wrist. Nothing happens to them. All right, so this is cranberry hibiscus. So I can understand them locking their stuff up because that is under $1,000. I think that vacuum was maybe 100 to 100. It was under 200. Imagine somebody coming, if you're a small business owner in New York City, and they have that rule where basically it's free game, because $1,000 is a lot to me. I'm not, I don't have that kind of money. And imagine somebody just trying to start a business like a little mom and pop shop, and somebody comes in there and wipes you out for about $800 every time. And imagine it being more than one person. You just go out of business. Whew, hibiscus. So now they're all over the country. They're locking up stuff. Wally World, Home Depot, Lowe's. I try to live within my means. So if I can't afford something, I just save up for it. Or I use my credit card, which is a problem. I just try to do the best I can. But going and taking somebody else's things, even if you think it's a big corporation, they can afford it, this is just wrong. And then it makes the stores think everybody is trying to come in and take stuff. They treat everybody like they're a criminal. There's nothing worse than going into a store and have somebody follow you around. That is annoying. And it's happened to me. I'm like, man, you need to follow somebody else because you're wasting your time with me. I ain't taking nothing. I'm not taking a darn thing out of this store unless I pay for it. I was at the tractor store, and I don't know if she did it on purpose. I think she did. And she made too many mistakes. I'll tell you the whole story. So I go in there, right? There's this lady at the cashier. The place is full. This particular day, I had to go in there and get some chicken feed. And I bought a whole bunch of chicken feed, and I bought some other small items. And the last thing I picked up was some apple licorice, because they're the only ones who sell it, and that's like my favorite. That's my thing. I don't need it, but that's my thing. So, and I got some pine shavings. I had a whole bunch of stuff, pine shaving, and I had to get some hay. So I had a bunch of stuff. And so I had the licorice there, and I put it on the counter. I know I put it on there. And when I was good, she was like, I have a lady here. She called the guy because I needed somebody to assist me get the hay. Because they, you don't just go and get your own hay. It's in this big old tractor. I needed some pine shavings. So he was coming, and something told me when I walked past, just after I paid, and she handed me my receipt, something told me, Jamaica, look at your receipt. And I looked. First of all, the licorice was in the cart. And I was like, did she bring this up? And I looked at her and said, did you bring it up? And I looked at my receipt, and I looked it up and down and said, no, you didn't. And I could tell from what I felt, because I got this discernment spirit. I can discern Stephen. I think she did it on purpose. I really do. So I don't know what her intentions were. I felt like she rang it up. She didn't ring it up on purpose. And then maybe she was just jacked up, because one of the things, so she overcharged me for another item. She doubled the price on one item, and then she didn't charge me for the liquid for the candy. And I'm like, I spent quite a bit of money that day because I had feed. Feed is not cheap. I had feed, I had hay, I had straw, and I looked through there. It was like at least 15 items on there. But I checked for that one particular item because something in my spirit said, check, make sure it's on there before you walk out that door. And then when I said, she didn't bring it up, she kept her back to me and the guy who was going to help me to the truck, and he kind of gave her this awful look, right? Like he turned his lip up with, you could tell when somebody's a little disgusted, and maybe she's done it before. And I said, I don't want it because I'm not going back into the line. So he just threw it on top of they had like little candies in there. And I was like, she did that on purpose. Then I was, what really upset me is when I got home, I looked at the receipt again. Something told me, Jamaica, look at the receipt again. Because, once somebody makes a mistake, I just start questioning everything they do. Looked at the receipt and she doubled the price on another 2 items, which raised my price $20 over what it should have been. It's like, this woman is a terrible woman. That's what I thought. And I see her all the time, and I could sense that I could tell. I'm just gonna say it. I was like, she wanted to call me a thief. That's what that was about. Be careful out there. Some wicked people. So now every time I see her, because I'm going back in that store, because that's where I go. I'm not gonna let her stop me from going in that store. But every time she's around, I'm gonna be watching her from now on. And normally people can sense when people don't like, when I sense something bad about a person, I'm usually spot on. I believe in my instincts. God has given me that ability to sense, not all the time, because sometimes when the older you get, the more sensitive you get to people's intentions, because you get exposed to so many people throughout your life. Because I didn't live a sheltered life. I got exposed to a lot of different people. But I picked that up from her. And I don't pick that up often. Not to that extent. I feel bad for feeling this way, but it's true. So, don't be surprised if I don't be writing into this freaking store and telling them and what she's doing. Setting up minorities to say they're a thief. There's another store that I don't go in for that very same reason. I went in there and I always see people getting arrested at this store. And they're always minorities. Always. And I was like, oh, I'm not going. The reason why I don't go in there is because I don't want to be there when they get robbed. And Austin is not bad. And I'm like, why is this one store always having somebody arrested? So I went in there because they have sales in there all the time. And the lady was following me around. And then she came down the aisle and I kind of looked at her, right? Like this, right? Looked her in her face. Oh, no, ma'am, I'm not following you. I'm just putting stuff up. I said, I know you're not following me. Well, that was not true. I was just being facetious. She was following me. She stayed away from me after that, but the damage was already done. I was like, if you're going to treat me like this, I don't deserve this. I don't think that I merited just because you don't what? Because you haven't seen me before. I don't often go in that store, but I've been in this area for about 20 years. And I haven't been in that store in I've been in that, in years. Because I kept on seeing people get arrested. I was like, shoot, I don't want to go in. One time I went to that store and someone had kicked the front door. The glass to the front door was kicked in. I was like, shoot, I don't want to be in here when y'all getting some karma. I don't want to be in here. Why your store of all the stores? All the rest of the stores aren't having this problem. Why you? Anyway, I don't go in there. I haven't went in there since. Because I was like, you know what, I don't appreciate this. And I'm not spending my hard-earned money here when there are plenty of other stores. There's a lot of stores in Austin. I don't have to deal with you. And then there was another thing that came out where they were overcharging people. They put one price there, and then when you go to cash register, they charge you another price. That's happening a lot. So I told you the story about the $100 watermelon, right? I bought a bunch of stuff early in the morning at the supermarket, and my mind, because I bought so much stuff, I was like, okay, I expected it to be around $200, but it was over $300. I was like, I didn't shop that much. I know I got a lot of stuff, but I didn't get that much. Look that, I made that girl go through that little receipt because they have a little thing there. I see $100 for a watermelon. I was like, man, I know watermelons went up, but they didn't go up that much. $100 for a watermelon? Oh, ma'am, I'm so sorry. And I know it wasn't the cashier's fault. It was the coating on the watermelon. Somebody messed up the code and put an extra zero on there. Watermelons are not cheap, but they're not that expensive. Watch yourself. You know, that's why I go to some of the stores where they just check you on your way out. The big box stores where you have to show your receipt and they check everybody before you walk out. I'd rather be treated like everybody else than for you to single me out. I take that personally because now I'm watching you and saying, okay, why are you watching me and not watching all the rest of these people? If you do it to everybody, well, who can say anything? Man. The thing that got me was when they locked up the vacuum cleaners. Locked it up. Usually they have those little alarms on it. The little alarms where that gets set off if you walk out the door. No, this thing was locked down. A vacuum cleaner. Wow. I knew that people were living above their means when we were locked down, because a lot of people were sad. They just wanted to do something to make themselves happy. And man, they were giving away all of these stimulus checks. And I was like, man, all of this stuff, all of this free money is going to come back and get us. All of these grants, all of this, PPE loans, all that stuff is going to come back and bite a lot of people in the butt. Because, a lot of people were, they were buying houses because the interest rate was low. That happened in, what year did that happen? Where they having bid wars? 2003, 2004. People were over. You just go and you try to buy a house and people would outbid you. And the same thing happened now. And now these people, hopefully they didn't have a variable interest rate on their mortgage. Because if they did, they're in trouble. Variable means that once the interest rate goes up, so does your interest rate on your home. Even if you don't have a variable on your mortgage, your taxes are going to go up and your insurance. And they just do. Once the value of the houses in the neighborhood go up, everybody pays. That means your escrow account on your mortgage is going to go up, which means your house payment is going to go up. I had some friends here in Austin who, back in, what year was it when everybody was getting foreclosed on? 2008. They could afford the price of their house. But once they tacked on the amount of taxes that was on the house, they couldn't afford to pay for their house any longer. It was just too much money. A couple of my friends lost their houses behind that. That was so sad. And back then, everybody was running to Texas because you could buy a big old house for like $150,000. But they don't tell you that your mortgage and your taxes, the amount is going to be almost the same because the taxes are high in the state. We don't have a state tax. Property owners carry the tax burden for the state of Texas. So if you own property, you're going to pay a lot. Taxes are high on property. High. Higher than when I was in Hawaii. The taxes and the houses, the cost of the houses in Hawaii was more than they are here. But once you, so if you have a house that was back then, if you had a house that was $500,000, right? And you bought a house here that was $250,000. Do you know that your mortgages would be the same after they put on the taxes here in Texas? Property taxes are extremely high. Buyer beware. Letting everybody know, because there's a lot of people who say, oh my God, the properties, and it's not that way anymore because they had all those bid wars. But back then, people were saying how cheap it was. That's why a lot of people from New York and California, mostly California, came out here to Texas because they could come out here and they're like, man, I'm spending $500,000 on a house when I can get one for $150,000 in Austin and live high off the hog. Well, they didn't factor in the taxes. The taxes on that property. High. How did it get on that? Anyway, this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. And this is the planting of my forgotten crops. Zucchini, green zucchini, yellow zucchini, butterfly peas, dandelion. I planted collards. I ain't planting no collards. What are you doing over here? Honeydew melon and sunflowers. I thank you guys for being with me, and I'll see you on the next one, all right? Bye.